So we weren't really at the station much of the day at all. We were out running calls, and this incident took place in the early morning hours leading into C shift. When we pulled into the complex, it was amazing. The amount of water. There were civilians all over the place. It was obvious with a couple minutes into it, figuring out what was going on. A lot of people had run out of their apartments because the water had rushed into them. And when I say water rushing across the parking lot, it literally came up to the bottom step of the ambulance, probably close to knee height. You could not see in between these buildings. It was just pitch black. We heard some screaming off in the distance. We couldn't see anybody. We didn't know where anyone was over that way just because of visibility. As we looked out across the water, you can only see just a couple inches of the tops of some door frames, and the lights were still on in these apartments, and you could just see furniture floating. So at that point, we realized there could be people trapped in those apartments. My partner, Justin, he realized the need to act, and he got in the water and swam over to the far building.
When I got in the water, I wasn't expecting it to be as deep as it was. I couldn't touch the bottom, so I started to swim. At that point, I swam down to towards the sound of the screaming, and found a gentleman clawing for air in the water. I grabbed him with one arm, and the water at that point had risen to the bottom level of the balconies. So the water was touching the second floor of the building. Found out that his wife and child were still in the water and trapped in the apartment. I jumped back into the water at that point, swam up to the slider door of that apartment that was completely underwater. I reached my arm up into the apartment through the slider and could not feel any dry spot.
Once Justin had exited the water, we came around to the front of the building where other units by that time had arrived, and we just assisted them. We started helping them out. His family was still inside the apartment. He had a wife and a baby inside there. So we operated from the apartment above with the assistance of a swift water team and getting them out.
We got to help people. We got citizens and residents in the water who are in need of help, and we gotta make it happen and get them out, so that way they can get out of the water and survive it.
I don't think there's anything that can prepare people for that, especially in this scenario. This is something that was probably in my career would be a once-in-a-lifetime thing. It just has never happened down there. It's very rare.